It's time for another viewer-requested build in Delta Force. So Empire Racing 8258 about a month ago asked for an M4A1 build focusing on medium to long range engagements with a magnified optic, an offset optic, and the M7 tactical suppressor, or practical suppressor, sorry, all slapped onto this thing with obviously the best control possible to really make those long range engagements a lot easier. So I have just that for all of you today. So the M4A1, if we're looking at the stats before starting to change it, you can see we're doing max damage up to 25 meters, 20 damage per shot. If we look at the damage model here, 20 across the board, 38 to the head. But the recoil pattern, you know, it's not the worst in the world, but it does deviate quite a bit to the right and then to the left, and we want to mitigate a lot of that. So for the barrel, we're going to put on the AR Gabriel long barrel combo because he wanted the weapon to be for longer range engagements, and this gives us an extra 4 meters in range, extra control, extra stability, handling loss, accuracy loss. We're going to make up for that handling though. So install that. For the muzzle, he specified the M7 practical suppressor. I keep saying tactical, I don't know why. Practical suppressor. So this gives us +8 control at the cost of handling with weak reduced minimap visibility when firing. So install that. For the foregrip, which is right here, I tried a few different ones. I tried it with this one. I tried it with like the K1 Elite Level foregrip. What we really want to mitigate here is that horizontal deviation here, so to the right and to the left. So then I just went with the Secret Order Belt foregrip. Now the only downside with this specific foregrip is that when you install it, it does increase the vertical control or recoil that you're experiencing. So if we look at the control real quick here, you can see it corrected some of that, you know, right and left deviation, but you're getting a little bit more vertical recoil with the weapon overall, but it's a lot easier to control that versus the horizontal. For the mag now, I've been kind of straying away from the larger magazines just because it reduces the handling by so much, and for the most part, I find myself reloading a lot more often than would be necessary with in an extended mag, so I feel like the trade-offs just aren't there for me. Again, this is personal preference. By all means, you know, retrofit this weapon with whatever you see fit, but I went with the 30-round polymer mag, which gives you a nice +6 in handling, which is awesome because we're going to keep that ADS time nice and snappy. For the mag assist, just put it on here, no downsides. For the rear grip, tried a few different ones here, ended up going with the Phantom rear grip because I want to get that handling up as much as possible. For the stock, now the one that I opted for is the M16A4 stable stock. It gives you a nice +5 in control, and it also gives you an extra attachment slot with the cheek pad, giving you another +1 control and +3 stability, which is really nice. For the optics, so he wanted an offset optic on here. I just went with my favorite one, the offset mini red dot sight. And then for the optic on the top, I went with the Viewpoint 3X scope. I think it's probably one of my preferred medium range optics in the game. Put whatever you want on here, honestly. Even the 2X or Russian 2X or whatever, I can't remember what it's actually called. This one is actually pretty good as well, but I just went with something a little bit longer range with the Viewpoint 3X scope. Then for all of these here, we're going to put on Ranger handguard panels to really bump up that control even more. Now, you can swap out these panels for whatever stat you think needs a little bit more bumping up. So if you feel like the handling's too low, maybe put some DD Python handguard panels on there. If you think the stability's too low, slap on some KC Hound handguard panels. Any stat you think is a little bit too low, just, you know, patch it with all these panel slots here. For the calibration, we're going to go with +50 grams and +10 millimeters, extra firing stability, extra muzzle velocity. For the foregrip, we're going with -20 millimeters and -20 grams to get extra ADS movement speed and extra ADS speed. For the rear grip, we're going with +50 grams to get extra control and -20 millimeters to get extra hipfire aim speed. For the cheek pad, we're going with +50 grams and +50 millimeters to get extra firing stability, extra control. For the stock, we're going with +50 grams, +50 millimeters, extra firing stability, extra control. And then for both of these optics, I only reduced the eye relief by 20 millimeters. Now, if we look at the final stats of the weapon after making all of these modifications, so the damage stays the same, obviously, it's just at longer ranges. You can see we corrected a lot of that bend, and it's now a lot easier to control. Still, with the 3X sight, you're probably going to feel some of that recoil, and obviously the M4A1 shoots pretty fast, so you're still going to feel it quite a bit, but overall, I felt like it was decent and overall manageable even at those longer ranges. And when you're just aiming with the offset RDS, you're not going to have any difficulty whatsoever controlling that recoil. For the handling, so it's still actually pretty good. So we lost 8 points, but it's at 367 milliseconds as opposed to the 302. But you have to keep in mind that we do have a magnified optic on here and the mini RDS, which all reduce the overall handling of the weapon. Stability would bump that up by 5. The only one that's in the red here is the current breath sway range. I wasn't holding my breath a whole lot with this specific build, and in the accuracy, loss of 12, not too big of a deal. So in order to use this specific weapon build, you will need to level up the M4A1 to level 69 in order to unlock the Viewpoint 3x scope. I had tried it with an a laser just to keep the ADS time even higher, but considering we already have an offset optic on here, you had to swap between 3 different aiming types, so the magnified optic, the offset, and then the laser. So you had to swap between 3. Sometimes I would forget, and then it would just be my laser. I would just be point firing or tactical stance holding my weapon. So it was just not the greatest experience in my opinion to have 3 different stances to aim. So I just completely got rid of the laser. I tend to not use ranged optics on fully automatic weapons because I play pretty aggressive, but I did actually have a lot of fun and performed quite well with this specific build. The one thing that I really didn't want to sway too much on is the mag, because I wanted to keep that ADS time really snappy. If you were to put even the 45 round mag on here, the ADS time just absolutely tanks. So you're losing 11 handling just for the 45 round mag. With the 60 round mag, that's not the drum mag, you're losing 15, and with the drum mag itself, you're losing 16 handling, and I just couldn't justify doubling my ammo count considering that I reload so often. And obviously the reload time is also a lot longer when you have those larger mags on there, so I felt like the 30 round mag in my specific playstyle just fit so much better than any of the extended mags that it could have. And there's also the mag that boosts up the stability if you find the weapon doesn't have enough stability, so that is also an option, and you don't lose any stats anywhere else. So obviously the M4A1, probably one of the better weapons in the game, and this specific setup allows you to engage people at longer ranges, and then you have the offset optic on here, which one, just looks cool overall, and 2, really allows you to engage people in CQB engagements without any hindrance whatsoever, as opposed to when you only have magnified optic, it can make it a little bit tricky, albeit you could put a laser on there to do the tactical stance, but arguably speaking, it's not as accurate as using a bespoke or dedicated RDS on the side. So overall, enjoyed my time with this build. The weapon share code will be in the description down below as well as in the top pinned comment. Shout out again to Empire Racing 8258 for recommending this specific setup, or at least giving me guidelines on how to build the M4A1. I had a blast. If you'd like to see a weapon featured in an upcoming episode, please leave it in the comment section down below. In any case, I'll leave you a few highlight clips of me using a specific build. But yeah, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.